more on this and bring in Omar Nashabe in Beirut. He's a criminal justice analyst and a former advisor to the Lebanese Minister of Interior. Omar, thank you very much indeed for your time. You'll have experienced conflict in Lebanon before. How does this compare?
Well, this seems to be one of the most difficult situations because the country is being bombed continuously. I mean, and this comes after a large number of refugees from Syria came to Lebanon. So, and after an economic crisis, there was a collapse in the financial system and in the banking system, so people couldn't have access to their money. And, also there's a lot of corruption within the Lebanese state. And, the government wasn't able to combat corruption properly. So if you look at this, I mean, and then on top of it, you have this massive bombing that is ongoing it has created a lot of destruction. And it has, put people in a really scary situation. The people are terrified because, I mean, the Israelis have been doing a genocide for 12 months in Gaza, and the international community did not stop them. So what's going to stop them from continuing with their this killing spree that they've been involved in Lebanon? And, this scares the ordinary people. Citizens are terrified. I mean, this Israeli entity is creating terror in the whole region, and it's threatening to kill more. Now, with the refugees and with the people who are fleeing, now also we have another challenge that is the winter is getting near, and I'm afraid today I was looking at the sky and praying that there wouldn't be any rain because, we have so many people on the streets, and kids, children, families they destroyed their homes. I mean, the way the Israelis bombed the southern suburb is unimaginable. I mean, they used really massive bombs for massive destruction. And this massive destruction is creating a lot of homeless people who have nowhere to go. Children are being abandoned. I mean, and there are people who need care, and this care is not available. And the international response is very limited. It is true, Turkey has sent some aid, but other countries around the world are not supporting Lebanon like they used to support Lebanon in 2006, for example, when it was subject to another Israeli onslaught.
Sure. Yeah. And so when you talk about the international community, I mean, how confident are you that there may be a diplomatic solution to what is turning into a crisis? We know that Iran's foreign minister has been holding some war-focused meetings in Qatar as mediators from a number of countries make efforts to try to bring an end to the violence.
Yes, well, we have witnessed, as I mentioned in the beginning, from, a full year, 12 months of ongoing genocide. And there were like 4 Security Council resolutions that called for a ceasefire. There were 4 orders by the highest court in the world, the International Court of Justice, calling for, entering, having access to basic needs in Gaza and stopping the indiscriminate bombing of civilians. And the Israelis did not respond to that. And the Security Council did not impose any coercive measures on Israel. And therefore, I'm not very hopeful for any solutions because apparently the Israelis are out on a killing spree, as I said, and they are not stopping. It's like a criminal killing left, right, and center. And, they're protected by the United States of America and by a number of European countries who are supporting them under the pretext, under the justification that is a failed justification, inhuman justification that Israel has the right to defend itself. I mean, there are laws. There are laws of war, and there are, international criminal laws, international humanitarian laws that should be respected. There are Geneva conventions that should be respected. Well, apparently the United States has no regard for international law, and apparently, they have like this new system called the International Rules-Based Order, and this is like a new invention by the Americans to actually justify Israeli crimes under the pretext that they need to protect themselves. I mean, they can kill thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people can live in misery, so that you can have one entity called Israel to have what the so-called security for the Israelis, and that's absolutely destructive for the international system. Because if you allow this, If the international community allows this for Israel, and Israel can do this, can actually violate international humanitarian law, can violate Geneva Convention, international criminal law without anyone holding them accountable, then any other country in any war in the future is going to do that, and it's going to have, it's going to say, well, Israel did it and it got away with it, so why can't we do it? And that's a destruction for the international system, and it's very dangerous.
Omar, we'll need to leave it there, but thank you very much indeed for coming on the programme. Appreciate your analysis.